Hello, chat. Welcome to today's stream here on Tuesday. I want to show you something cool. Chat, I think I won a PlayStation.
Hello fans, it's Paul McCartney. Due to a shipment error, we have over 4,000 PlayStation 5 consoles to give away for free.
It was amazing. So yeah, I sent Paul all of my information, and you know, I'm trying to get another PS5. That'd be really cool. Cock, is this real? Well, here's what I can say. That actually was something that kind of almost happened to me. Like a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I got an email from Rode, and this is in my snack video, but I'll explain it just a little bit because I think there's a couple people who are confused about it, weirdly. I didn't reply to the email I got from Rode, which was a scam email. It was like, hello influencer. It was like, okay, hello influencer, we would like to send you free product. You are influencer. And then I was like, that's weird, that's suspicious. So I know better than to, you know, send people information or click weird links, but I do think, well, you know what? I looked around, it looked really legit. I can see how people would get scammed from something like that, because it looked stupidly legitimate. Even me Googling some of the stuff, it was like, you know, half of it seemed real, half of it seemed fake. So you know what I said? I said, you know what? Let me email Rode, the real Rode. So note, I didn't email the scammer back, but I emailed them and they said, no, that's not us. I said, ah, damn. Well, you know, I was looking forward to getting, you know, a lavalier mic, and they said, well, let me see your account, bro. You got the numbers? You got the influence? I said, not really. But they were nice. They were really cool. I actually spoke to someone on the phone, and they were like, well, we have we have something coming out soon. We have another lavalier mic, like a wireless one, and it hasn't released yet. Do you want it? I was like, yes, Rode. It was really cool. So it's insane that you reverse scammed your way out of that. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can make that happen. The problem is, it didn't sound great during the snack video, but I think it is a good microphone. I just need to figure out how to make it work. So, one other thing, chat. I wanted to, oh, thank you, chat member. That's very, very nice of you. I wanted to mention something before we begin, because there's some crazy happenings in the world of potentially Valve's new VR headset being revealed this week. Take all of this with a grain of salt. Alright. This is from Woo Zoo. They seem to be a VR enthusiast. I don't know how they got this information, but I want to go over these points real quick. Let's say this for a moment is real, and could just be bullshit. But as someone who's got probably a couple hundred hours in VR, I'm like, not the most casual VR user, but I'm not like a hardcore VR user. I'm somewhere in the middle. I read this before, and if this is actually what the Steam frame looks like, I think I might be happy with it. So, apparently it's not going to be that amazing in terms of performance, but it'll be slightly above the Quest 3. But it'll probably, if that's the case, that's still going to be a decent amount beyond the Index. So I'm pretty happy about that. Form factor, if it's lighter and slimmer than the Quest 3, that I think is important for VR. I don't think VR has really taken off since the initial boom a couple years ago. I say initial, but, you know, everything comes in waves. Because it is a weirdly clunky thing. There's an investment involved. But having something that's like actually light and really barely noticeable, I think would be a game changer. So there's that. Controllers. 2 6 Degrees of Freedom VR controllers that can snap together into a single standard gamepad. That's the first time I've heard of that, and it sounds good. The index controllers I think are really well done. I like them, but also, you know, you can't really game with them comfortably. So if there's a way to snap these things together, that makes sense. You snap one off. Someone says, that sounds like such BS. It could be, but if in a couple days something is revealed, we'll talk about it. We'll see how accurate this weird message that blew up is getting. Like, I don't really understand how this information has been revealed or leaked, but people seem to, they send their spies to Valve, I guess. Ecosystem. Players will be able to access both native VR content from their existing Steam library, effectively bringing their entire PC gaming ecosystem into a headset form. That's cool. I think, yeah, having everything right there in the headset is good. I also don't think gatekeeping VR software is the key to the future of this medium. And I think Zuck and some of the other guys that, like even Sony, locking things off has made VR, I've talked about this plenty, a weakened medium, and people don't want to really, I can't play Resident Evil 4 without doing some stupid shit. Like, there's plenty of games that are just exclusive to one headset. I don't know if this fixes that, but I guess if your entire Steam library is in your headset, that's nice. Half-Life 3. Alright, well, thanks for listening. So there goes that. Someone said, I just don't want my eyes to hurt. Some people get sick from VR, like I did early on, but then you get used to it. Like anything else, you do enough, if you ride a boat enough and you strengthen your stomach, you get your sea legs, then you can ride boats more easily. And VR was that. Like, I can pretty much do anything I need to do in VR, and it doesn't fuck with me. But that initial barrier of entry, people are going to have a really hard time buying several $100 worth of headset and equipment, let's say $400 or $500, whatever, and then they get sick. So that's just immediately bad. And then, like, Half-Life 3, it said something about a VR version. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think Valve either goes all in on another VR Half-Life, or they do Half-Life 3 as a proper follow-up to Half-Life 2, and not just like a VR game that can be played off VR. Half-Life Alyx has a non-VR version now, and it kind of defeats the purpose of a lot of the game. Like, the environments are smaller on purpose, because Valve discovered that when you play Half-Life in VR, you want to, or when you do anything in VR, really, you're examining your environment more. You're taking your time and you're looking around in smaller rooms. That seems to suit that medium better than running around like crazy and sprinting several thousand yards. So I don't know about that Half-Life 3 thing. That's kind of weird. There's also a lot of Steam VR updates apparently happening on Steam right now. And there's other stuff. They're delaying the Steam sale. So, I mean, it feels more real than it has in a while. I'm not expecting Half-Life 3. However, I'm curious about the Steam frame. I've held off on buying more VR since the Index. The Index is still getting the job done. I really like what they did with it. it's, you know, it's a little annoying. It's showing its age, but I want to just play VR with a very light headset with as few components as possible and something that is going to have a greater field of view. I want something maybe with eye tracking. So if I look to the left, I see more sharp in the left. I mean, you notice this stuff when you do VR for a while. There's a lot of potential and less screen dooring, even though the index doesn't have that much anyway. So, anyway, we'll see what happens. I will keep abreast of the situation. Also, there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I'm not gonna be streaming that. It's a Mario Galaxy movie Direct, right? I think we just call that a trailer. Where I come from, I'll watch the trailer. I'll talk about it on stream tomorrow night around the same time during my intro stuff. So, will you be checking out Sonic Cross Worlds? I have it, and I will check it out. Like I said, I'm going to finish Eternal Darkness, and then my schedule frees up a little bit. I get to play maybe some more Pac-Man. I don't know. A lot of one-off stuff. You'll notice tonight I'm doing a Magazine Madness. And I'm also going to be doing Scoot X. Scoot. But chat, welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. I hope you're all doing all right. And, oh, Lego Zelda. I saw that. Another Lego Zelda set. How dare you? Yeah. We'll have to talk about that when it's revealed. How dare you? You have no money. Buy everything. I'm lucky. I'm doing like kind of okay that I can go to Vegas and not lose my entire savings. But at the same time, I'm like looking around at stuff. I'm like, fuck, man, I want Zelda Lego. I want Star Trek Lego. I'm actually probably not going to buy the Star Trek Lego, chat. You can post your kappas, but my God. That's something I talked about yesterday. I'll see what that Zelda set looks like, though. That's something I'm much more interested in. All right. Here we go, chat.